I can't go out. I'm sick.
Boo, you whore.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Outgoing
Without going out.
I'm Gabby,
And I'm Lexi.
and we're the
And
Fuller
we're the Fuller
Sisters.
Sisters. We're trying a new recording method here. We're back with part 2 of the How to Change Your Life in 2023. We are back with our OG microphones. We are on Zoom, and we're trying to record the audio and video so that we can give you guys a YouTube version of the pod while we're on Zoom. We're going to give it a go again. We made a TikTok. We never posted any of these, but we're like, we really want to give it a shot. So here we are.
I was going to say something, and then I totally blanked because I was thinking 12 things at
Awesome.
once, so then I just awkwardly paused. But if you are watching any type of video version of this, bear with us. It's about to be sunset, which means I'm probably going to go pitch black in 2 seconds. And when we talk about, especially like an episode like this, where we are kind of going off of like notes and things that we wrote down, listen, I can't guarantee that I'm going to be entertaining to watch. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but we're going to try.
I talk with my hands a lot, so just be ready for that. But hey guys, welcome back. I really wasn't sure what this week was going to bring because I have been sick all week. So you know what? Gabby's got a more exciting week. I'm going to let her take away her life updates and then we'll get into the episode.
Okay, so I went to like think, I was like, what the heck did I do this week? And I forgot that we recorded really early last week. And I swear I've lived like 3 weeks in this 1 week. Like you're telling me, was majors really last weekend? It was. But I feel like I've been home for so long. Like for once, I feel like this week didn't necessarily fly by, but like almost in a good way. So going into that weekend, I flew to majors on a Thursday. It's a different type of competition. I already posted my YouTube video, so you can go watch that if you want more of like a behind the scenes of what it is. But it's like a very exclusive invite only kind of competition. So they set it up to make it like such a fun experience for the athletes. So we got in Thursday, and then Thursday night we have the banquet, which I think this is the moment where I was like, dang, I'm really a coach. Like this is weird for me. Because I feel like just yesterday I was like 18 on TDLC attending this banquet as an athlete. But then the way they did it this year is they had a separate like coaches social than like the athlete one. And it felt so weird like getting up and going into the coaches room and not just like staying there with the athletes. Like it's so weird to me that I'm that old and like I'm at that stage now. It's also crazy because it is like all the coaches of all these. Corny Smith Pope is in there, Elaine and Joelle from World Cup, like everyone is in there, everyone's just having a good time. They had really good taco station. Some coaches came up to me and told me they watched my vlogs, which is kind of weird to me. Like that is so weird that that's like my demographic.
I
And
didn't
like
know
I get
that.
it, I make cheerleading videos, yeah, but they were like telling me that they were watching them, and I was like, okay. But that was
Snooping
super
for
fun,
the inside scoop of your team.
right? But banquet was fun. The girls had a great time upstairs. I will say that they were like the life of the party, and I just gave them my camera to enjoy it for the banquet night, and they got some fun footage. But then Friday is the only day of competition. Yes.
You know who's not your demographic?
Who?
Me. I
Great. That
don't
was like
watch your
5
videos.
minutes ago that I said that,
Well, I
and then
didn't
I
want to
just thought
interrupt
of that
you.
now. Um, Friday was the actual day of the competition, but the way they do it is you have like a practice round in the morning. So each team goes through, well, you go through the warm-up process, but they doubled the warm-up time. So that I don't really get that because then you're getting used to having so much time, but then at night you only have half the time that you had in the morning to warm up. So I don't really understand that. You think the whole practice round would be like everything you're going to do at night, you're going to do during the day, but that wasn't the case. So we warmed up, went on the actual like competition mat, and there's actual judges there for the practice round that are basically, it's kind of like a day one competition, even though the score means nothing, but they do like a difficulty round of your routine. So you go through certain sections so they can give you a score, kind of rank you where you are in the placements. Now, this part is necessary to the story because once the scores came out, they scored us incorrectly. We had video footage of this. So like the way cheerleading competitions work, a lot of people don't know this, specifically a lot of people on cheer Twitter, because they love to take pictures of the Top Gun coaches at the judges table after a team goes and swear we're like bribing the judges and fixing our scores. Welcome to cheerleading. every coach does this. This is how it works. After your team goes, you get normally the difficulty scores and the deductions. You don't get like the division ranking, so you don't know what you placed. Obviously, you can figure it out if you're friends with like other coaches and you really want to know. But you get your difficulty scores and deductions. And most of the time, okay, not most of the time, but like very likely there's going to be some sort of like issue in there somewhere. So the way this worked, obviously, because the scores didn't matter, and everything was like over the phone. There was nowhere to go in person. So we just like emailed them saying that our scores weren't correct. And they're like, well, there's no point of really fixing them now, but we'll make sure we're like more careful and really like double count tonight at the competition. Well, they got our scores even more wrong that night. So I watch my video if you want like more into this. I know not everyone's like cheerleader here, so a lot of this might sound like a foreign language, but the score sheet completely changed and it's all a numbers game now. But it's like if you do these skills, you get this score. So it's not really subjective anymore. Like everything is you do this, you get this score, you already know that going into it. So we knew what our score should have been, and then we got back our score sheet. But because majors is a different type of competition, everything is a surprise at awards. So normally where you get the difficulty scores and you have time to fight it, this competition wasn't like that. We also didn't think we had to worry considering they did the whole difficulty round. They said they were going to be more careful, and it is such a prestigious event that you would think they would have gotten it right, but they didn't. So they missed like a ridiculous amount of tumbling passes and just misscored us completely. And they like got back to us and like they rescored us technically, not that it mattered because nothing is out in the universe, but like texted us saying that they like completely screwed up the scores. So I don't know if we're the only team that happened to. I know obviously like through Top Gun that it because of the new score sheet that's happened to pretty much all of our teams at an event already this year. Don't know what's going to come of that in the future, but overall, besides that, it was a really fun weekend. It was crazy being like on the coach side of it. I got to walk out all dressed up, and they got to like they said my name along with the other coaches. We walk across the stage before we go down. Lexi said she likes Coach Gabby version of me better than Athlete Gabby.
I do. I feel like you're more sophisticated. I feel like I get to talk to you a little bit more selfishly. You're not as stressed. You're a little nicer. I like
I
your
mean, yeah, because
content
I
better as a
can't
coach.
do much as a like what am I to be stressed about as a coach? I don't got to do anything. I just have to sit on the
I
foot of the floor
just,
and cheer for them.
yeah, I just like that more.
Okay, well, lots more of that to come. But that was basically major summed up in however long I've been talking. But luckily, because it was only a 1 day Friday night event, I got back Saturday night, which was so nice because it was like even though I was at a competition, I still almost had like a free weekend kind of. So I had nothing to do Sunday. We relaxed all day. I think we ordered some Chinese food. We watched some football, which wish the game was a little better than it was. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, but it was so nice doing nothing. And then all week we got back on our routine. However, it's been a lot harder to wake up this week. And I don't know why. Like, I get it. I just got back from a competition, but like, it was only a few day event. Like, I don't know, but it's been so much harder this week to wake up.
I think it has been darker, which doesn't make sense because it's supposed to be getting lighter longer. It has been darker in the morning and at night. It's been colder again.
Yeah.
And I also have struggled. My sleep schedule has been off this week a lot.
So I've had delayed mornings, but I've still been good about getting up when my alarm goes off. We've been up and active every day. I'm getting into a much better gym routine, and I've actually been sore this week, which has felt so good because then it's like, okay, what I'm doing is working. Like something is working, and I might be crazy, and it might just be because I feel better, but I swear my body even looks better already. My butt, it's getting there. Looks like not that it's bigger, but I feel like the shape of it is already better. I'm like, I like this thing, this whole gym routine thing. But also got a lot of good days in the sun, which just makes me
Can't
feel
relate.
so much better. Okay, last thing, I'm terrible at soccer. I blame my father. Justin like really wants to. We've been like alternating, like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are gym days. Tuesday, Thursdays are like finding something fun for cardio kind of days. And he's been super into soccer lately. And I was like, yeah, I'll go play it with you. Never kicked a ball in my life. Dad was like anti-soccer. He just like never enjoyed it. It wasn't a sport he played. So we grew up with like baseball, softball, football, basketball, all of that. And I never learned how to kick a soccer ball. And I've never felt more unathletic in my life trying to run up and down the soccer field with him, trying to figure out how to kick a ball on the side of my foot so I don't break a toe.
That's kind of weird. Maybe it's just because I grew up and like all my friends played soccer, but I feel like I used to play it at recess constantly.
Never. I played football always.
That's
I
really
never,
weird.
like, I've legitimately never even tried to play soccer.
That's weird to me because I had a different experience and we grew up in the same house.
But you said recess. And I'm like kickball maybe, but that's like a soft, you can kick that however, you're not breaking a toe.
I guess. If you guys are watching the video, Cloud is putting his head over the microphone. Okay. Well, is that your week update?
Yeah, I think that was everything. And then that led me to now.
Well, I don't even know if you can still hear it in my voice. I sound way better today than I have, but
Mm-hmm.
I have been sick all week. It's been rough. It started last weekend with just like a little sore throat. And I was like, oh, it'll go away. Like it's just changing temperature or whatever. And it did not. It got worse before it got better. Um, I I think it was a sinus infection. It wasn't anything super serious. It was literally either a sinus infection or a cold. I was able to use over-the-counter meds to manage it. All is fine. However, because of that, I did not do much this week. It feels like this week drug on. My sleep schedule was messed up. I like have not been sleeping. I it just was bad. Of course, like right when I get into loving the gym and getting into a routine, I get sick. So I took a couple days off. I did go to the gym one night and literally just sit in the sauna. I officially got my own gym membership, so I can go whenever, 24/7, which
Is
is
it
pretty
the
cool.
same gym that Sean's at?
Yeah, but I was just using his guest passes before, but I just got the membership so that I can just use my own swipe and not have to worry about it. But that I just really want to get back into like a normal routine again, so hopefully soon I can do that. Rita's like going nuts in the hallway. I like I said, I have written down it's been extra cold, extra dark. I've been struggling to get up in the morning. Um, so that has been, like I said, not the best. I'm the type of person who can like fall asleep easily. I sleep through the night. I have no issues. And this week I've been up multiple times. The other night I woke up, literally could not go back to sleep. I was like, I had to walk laps around my house to like try and go back to bed. Like it was the weirdest thing, which never
And
happens to me.
it always happens when you know that you need sleep more than anything. It's
Yeah.
the
And
nights you can't sleep.
I think it was because I was taking the Sudafed because it's a 24-hour Sudafed. So I think it was because I took the first dose when I picked it up, which was at 7 p.m. after work one day. And so then I was taking it at 7 p.m. every night. But because it's non-drowsy, I was obviously some sort of stimulated. So I switched it. So now I took it in the morning. I slept a little bit better last night, but still not the best. But anyways, long story short, haven't been feeling the best. This week drug on. As far as what I've been watching, I finished the recent season of Southern Charm. I'm rewatching You. Forgot how insane the ending of the second season of that is.
Honestly, I should do that because that comes out soon and I don't really remember
I
every
started from
detail.
season one just because I forgot a lot and it was good even watching it again. So I just finished the second season today, so I will be starting the third season. I my goal is to really get my sleep schedule back on track. So I'm going to try and force myself to go to bed earlier so that I can wake up earlier, get right out of bed instead of sitting on my phone and falling back asleep. Um, but that's that. I had written down that tonight's plans were absolutely nothing. I was just going to take a hot shower and go to bed early, which I still may do. But Sean actually came home from work, also not feeling well. So he just got home. He was supposed to be at work for 24 hours because we have an exciting day tomorrow that I will talk about maybe next week's podcast or maybe in a while. But basically, yeah. So maybe we'll go to the gym tonight. Maybe I'll sit in the sauna, but it's just going to be probably a chill night because we both have not been sleeping well. That's my update. I literally have no update. Um, that's that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. One more thing I want to add. Have you watched Wedding Crashers lately?
I mean, like a few months ago.
I just could not believe we had like nothing to watch and it was on Netflix. We are like, sure, let's watch it. We've been on a binge of like we watched like Longest Yard and then we were on like an Adam Sandler kick and then we were like, okay, movies are like this. We put on Wedding Crashers. I cannot believe how like rated R that movie is. And I vividly remember sitting in our living room when I think I was 7 when it came out, watching this movie with our parents.
Yeah, we were probably too young, but we didn't know any better. Like we didn't, I don't know.
I guess. I
Interesting.
mean, it's only really like boobs on the screen, so like I guess because we were
Whatever.
girls, it wasn't as big of a deal. Because like obviously it would be a lot worse if it was like a male naked body on the screen. But
Yeah, we
it's
weren't
just so
sheltered
funny
children.
because there's so many movies that like Justin's like, what the heck did you grow up watching? And I'm like, Wedding Crashers. Like that is the kind of movies on our like family movie nights we would watch. Oh,
Dodgeball.
I did watch, yeah, always like that. But never like the Avengers, the Transformers, the movies that are so good, but like for like
No.
we never grew up watching those. However, I did watch the Transformers movies. He made me watch them this week. Started out good, got super repetitive.
Yeah. How
That's my take on
how
it.
many twists and turns can you have when your main
Right.
characters are machines? Sean, you're what? I don't know what he said. Anywho, yeah, I'm recording a podcast. We don't have a door on this room that I'm recording in, so my sincerest apologies. Anyways, why don't we hop right into the favorite of the week?
Okay, I've been wanting to. I've been on the kick of I don't like my normal makeup routine, and I've been in like a. Well, okay, well here's the thing. I don't really know how to do makeup. I wear makeup maybe at this point like literally probably like twice a month. With competitions now, I'll be wearing it more, but I go like weeks and weeks without putting a single thing of makeup on my face. But because of that, I've always been into like just powder products. I feel like it doesn't feel like there's like liquid or like anything's cakey on my face. However, I feel like that is out, and I feel like liquid and cream products are in, and I've been wanting to switch it up. So I don't have much to compare this to. So the competition, the bar was set low. So I can't tell you like how this is compared to like other products on the market. But I did do a trial run of my makeup for majors both nights, and I used the Pixie On the Glow bronzer. It's the only cream bronzer I own, and I do really like it. I will say I did have to kind of build it up like twice. Like I would do it once, I blend it in, and then I do it one more time to build it up, and I would do that under all my powdered makeup. But I really liked it.
Well, I'm really sad because that's the one package from Pixie that went to my old apartment and I did not
No
receive
way.
it. So can't tell you how good it
I think
is
they
from
only
my
gave me. I
end.
think I only have one bronzer too. I have a bunch of blushes, but I do like the bronzer better than the blush of that
Sad.
set.
Sad.
What's your
Okay.
favorite?
So because I've been a fitness girly or trying to get into it, I got some biker shorts from Amazon. And these, they always say, I feel like there's a million out there, Lululemon Align dupes, and these are the dupes of the Lululemon shorts. I will go as far as saying, we're recording the video this week, so okay, can you take her? I will go as far as saying I actually think I like the ones I got on Amazon more than my Lululemon biker shorts.
Really?
They are so comfortable. They do not move, do not ride up. They do not anything. They are the perfect length. I'm obsessed. I think the brand is Hey Nuts, but yeah, not the best name.
Are they squat proof? Because that's the thing I've seen with a few. Like, when you
What does
squat
that
and
mean?
booty cheeks are out. Like, are they see through?
No, I don't
Okay.
think. I'll ask Sean, but I don't think so. I wore them to the gym the other day, and not only are they not squat proof, I spilled an entire bottle of water on my front and back because I was sitting down and the water just went all the way behind me and through my legs. And they were fine with that too. So I don't know. I got to say, they were amazing. They were $17. The problem is they only have a few colors. So I already have 2 more colors in my cart. I haven't pushed send yet on the cart, but I love them. They're the 4-inch ones, true to size. Don't get me wrong, love my Lulu ones, but for $17, the fact that they are the same quality, if not better, in my opinion, to work out in, love. So that's my favorite. Si, senor. All right. Why don't we hop in to the rest of this episode? The part 2 of the How to Change Your Life in 2023. What else are we calling this? How to have the best year of your life, the best life of your life. It's not just this year. We're going to carry this out.
The best life of your life.
Yes.
2023 and me.
23, isn't that like the DNA
Yeah.
kit? I am going to start us off. So The whole idea, which I was on another podcast, I was on the Hint of Everything podcast and as a guest, and she was saying after she heard me talk about it, she actually got the audiobook of The Power of One More by Ed Milet, and she said it was amazing. So I may have to get it, especially the audiobook, because he reads it in his voice. So it's like it would be like a podcast, but on the whole book. So I think I need to look into that and get it. But basically, the idea of The Power of One More is to keep promises to yourself and one more. So I did this the other day in the gym. I have my reps that I was supposed to do, and I did one more of every set because I was like, you know what? Not only am I not going to cheat myself, I'm going to do one more. And I did it this morning. I said I was going to get out of bed at a certain time. I was like, you know what? Why am I even saying I'll get out of bed in 5 more minutes? Just get up now. I'm awake. So
Let
I
me
got
snooze
up.
that alarm one more.
Well, no. So that would be the opposite of what I'm saying.
But he does say he relates it to more than just like, obviously, like a gym rep is one of the easiest things to do. And I also have been doing that. But he's like, in his, when he was explaining this, he's like, I go about my day now. If I normally tell my wife I love her 10 times a day, I'm going to say it one more. Like and he's like, I even gotten to the point where I do it with like things that are so not necessary, but I always go above and beyond and I do one more just because of like the premise of it and like the principle behind it. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, going to the gym. If I normally go 3 days, I'm going to go 4. Like the gym is the easiest way to relate it. But I like that he said, even like with relationships in his life. And if you normally contact a person this many times, you're going to do it one more, like literally to everything in your life. I do want to read his book and go more into it because I will say I'm trying to listen to his podcast more, but I almost like when he's a guest on other podcasts than when he has guests on his
Interviewing
podcast.
other people. Yeah. Because you want to hear his side, not the other people. Yeah. I get that. But yeah, so basically it's just that goes into the whole thing of reframing your mind again. You want to change your thoughts to change the questions you ask yourself. And he says, what holds people back the most, and I've heard this in countless manifestation videos, TikToks, books, everything. The belief that you don't deserve it or you can't do it is the only thing holding you back. And as stupid as that sounds, I've already found myself in that mindset again. And this is just me being real with you guys. I said, you know what? I'm riding this high of this motivation. I already found myself this weekend. It could just be because I'm sick, but I'm in a slump again. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm thinking to myself, you know, I was consistent for 1 week on TikTok and I didn't gain any followers. My videos didn't go anywhere. And like, you know, I was going to do this, and that. And like, I just didn't stick to it. And I'm already over it and going to go back to like, you know, posting rarely and because it's not working. And I already told myself, I was like, this is not constructive. Like literally, what is the point? And granted, I'm not trying to like burn myself out, but I can already see myself being like, dang, like I really like this person's content, but like I could never do that. And you know, oh, exactly. So I realized that once I get in that mindset, it all spirals to be more negative. And my lucky girl syndrome was starting to run out because I wasn't thinking that way. So you know what?
But wait, when did you get pooped on? That was
my gosh, we have to tell
this
that
week,
story.
Right?
Last week maybe. I was
But
walking
I think
Lola.
it was after we recorded. I don't think we mentioned it.
I was literally on a walk with Lola and I was like, oh, I'll take one more lap. I could go home right now, but I'm going to do one more lap. What happens as soon as I start my second lap? A bird poops on me. That's what happens. So it was January 18th. So was that last week?
I don't know, but I don't even know what day it is.
It's
I mean,
the
it was,
27th.
but I don't know. Did we talk about that? I don't think we did.
I don't think we did. I was pooped on basically by a bird.
And then she
So
calls me to
Gabby
tell me
told me
that,
it means
and
lucky.
I said, you are in your lucky girl syndrome era because it means lucky to be pooped on by a bird, and you should be honored.
Haven't received said luck yet, but we're gonna go with that and say sure, it was lucky. But yeah, so it's just it's gonna come in waves, but I'm already finding myself like needing that motivation again. And I saw like I think it was on TikTok or a reel or a YouTube video or something, and it was like this girl, and I can never make these videos because I never record myself when I'm upset. First of all, I very rarely cry. I'm not a crier.
Oh, see, but documenting when you cry is the
But
best.
so this girl was recording herself like crying, and it was like, I want to be like the things I see on Pinterest. And then it like went into another clip and she was like, so I started living my life like I was that person and I became that person. And I was like, see, that's literally all it takes. Like I've been telling myself, like I want to travel. And granted, to be fair, I have work and there's a lot going on and we have the house and everything. So it really isn't a good time to travel, and we have weddings and stuff. But even little things like next weekend, we have both of us are off. Of course, I was going to come see you because there's a Gymshark sale in Miami that has this crazy super sale and we want to come, but you're going to be out of town, Mom told me.
Yeah. I have a
But so I was like, you know what? We need to find a pet sitter or we can find somewhere that we can take the pets and we need to go somewhere for 2 days or a day, at least a night.
I mean,
like
you
just
can
go
come
somewhere
to sit.
cool.
My apartment will be empty.
Yeah,
You can
I
dog sit.
could. I mean, I could go there, but like then we were thinking maybe we'll drive to one of the Keys, but just like do something. Like we just feel like I'm already feeling like I'm in like a cycle of like I need to just do something, you know? What?
That's why I have one weekend off for the rest of the entire season. And old me would have been like, oh, I cannot wait to relax all weekend. I spend 5 days of the week relaxing at my house. What am I doing? Booking a cruise because I can relax on a cruise ship way better than I can relax inside of my house anyway. So I don't even care that I have one weekend off and it is after back to back to back travel weekends. I'm going on a cruise.
What cruise are you going on?
Royal Caribbean. I have one of the girls I coach, her mom works for a cruise line and can get us friends and family discount. So
When is this? Am I invited?
We've already talked about this, March 3rd to the 5th, but I think you have something or you can't go or
I think I'm on call or something if I remember correctly, which is really sad. Anyways, but yeah, it just goes into getting rid of that mindset that like you can't do something. Seeing somebody else succeed shows that it's possible and shows that you can do it.
Something that he said that I really loved is at any point in time in your life, you are only one moment away from your greatest life that you could ever possibly imagine. It takes one thing to happen to you to change the entire trajectory of your life and set you up for success. So like even when you think you're in your flop era, you're at like the lowest point you possibly can, it could literally change in a snap. Like it takes one thing, whether it's like posting on TikTok, it takes one TikTok to go viral and then you find like what you want to post and that is what changes your life and that is like the route you take and that it literally is you are one moment away from your greatest life.
Well, just waiting on that moment, but it's true. Everyone says like I've been seeing a lot of videos of like the 2020, oh, I get 2 weeks off and then it shows how their life changed because they like started something new during quarantine and how different that was and everything, which I just think is a really interesting take on it looking back now at that time. But yeah, I really like that. And he also says you need a level of confidence to succeed. So if you don't have that level of confidence, you're not going to be present enough to even learn, to get better, to grow. So again, back to that negative mindset is going to send you in a downward spiral and just keep you going in the opposite direction that you want to go into. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I kind of wanted to get into what he says is his peak performance and sort of see what we want to incorporate as far as daily habits that we think could really make a difference moving forward. So he says his peak performance, he does a cold plunge 5 times a week. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm not incorporating that into my weekly habits.
See, this is where I think, so Justin's been taking ice cold showers like every day lately, consistently. And one, he says, as the weather's getting colder, like he's just not.
Do a cold plunge.
What did you say, Sean?
Said I want to get an ice machine so we can have a cold plunge.
Sean's a huge cold plunge guy.
Well,
Loves
he
it.
used to take every single ice cube that I owned in my apartment.
Yeah, we said you
and
took
put it
all
in
the
my
ice
bathtub.
cubes and put it in the bathtub when you lived at her house.
I know it sucks the first time, but once you get into a routine of doing it, it doesn't suck after that. And it like literally after you do it for 4 or 5 minutes, the reset on your body is better than I think a whole night's of sleep.
She said Justin's been taking only cold showers and said it's been game changing.
Yeah.
Ed Milet says he does a cold plunge 5 times a week.
Yeah.
But he also does morning meditation 2 times a day. He does stretching and yoga every day. He's gentle with himself instead of just starting his day and going crazy.
My thing is like, it eases my muscle soreness.
Get closer to the microphone.
So much. And you don't have to get one of those super expensive cold plunges that has like, it's like its own hot tub where it has a filter and it cleans the water. and it recirculates the water, just get a couple bags of ice
Mhm.
and then just dump it into a cold bath. And
I mean, right now we're just jumping our pool. It's freezing outside. But
not the same. It needs to be like 50 degrees.
I bet you our pool's 50 degrees outside. It's really cold out.
I don't think so.
Anyways, so that's his peak performance habits. What do you think is, I understand all like major athletes do cold plunges, like a bunch of famous people say it's amazing, successful people. I just don't know if it's for me. I don't like being cold.
That's where I think like obviously the ice roller compared to a full on cold plunge, not even on the same scale. But I feel like it does that same thing for me where it jumpstarts like my body, my awake, and like the cold, like instantly when I wake up is just like the best thing for me. So I understand. I feel like that is like the smallest scale of it. So I get it. But I am not on the cold plunge or even the cold shower level yet. I tried to jump in after he was in the shower the other day and I couldn't. I had to stand at the back of the wall until the water heated up. I just couldn't do it.
So we'll just go back and forth. What's something that you think is a habit that you are either are incorporating or you're going to incorporate that you think could really change the trajectory of your days?
I mean, I
was
feel
gonna
like
say the
lately
one you said,
the getting up,
getting
not
out
going
without
on
your
my
phone.
phone. Yeah, for sure.
That's a good one. I recently, as of literally last night, got a gallon water bottle on Amazon it just came in the mail last night and it has timestamps of how much water to drink. Is a gallon
I got
excessive?
you one of those
Maybe.
before.
Yeah, broke, but you got me
Oh.
like a smaller one. This one's huge.
Oh.
Like it's a literal gallon of water. It took me 30 minutes to fill it last night in my fridge. Anyways, and I can already say today that like I have been drinking so much more water having that. And like,
I
do you need to go
get way
buy a
better
water
at
bottle?
that.
No. But having just something to consciously remind you to drink water, I feel like is something huge. And for me, I want to get into, there's like a mark that's like before 7 a.m. I want to fill it up the night before, maybe put some ice cubes in it or something. But I want to wake up and get to that 7 a.m. line before I even drink a coffee, because I feel like I already start my day dehydrated because I have no water in the morning. I finish my coffee and then maybe by like late morning, early afternoon is when I start drinking water. And I feel like I'm already behind a curve and like, I just don't feel great. You know what I mean?
And I get that you're like tired in the morning, but I feel like lately, so I've been waking up and going to the gym and then I'll like drink water at the gym. I don't drink enough water at all throughout my day, but I haven't been having coffee until after that. But there's also some days where I'm like, I don't really need it right now. And like a coffee at 3 p.m. hits so much harder than a coffee right when I wake up.
Yeah. You stay up late, so you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try not to, but yeah, we've been on your schedule lately. We've been eating dinner like 9 o'clock because we go to the gym when I get home from work and it's just too much. So,
and that's where as much as I want to be an early bird, wake up early in the morning, but it's not realistic. I would not be getting enough sleep and it would just set me up for failure. I think, unfortunately, the way my lifestyle is, I have to sleep in until like the 8-9 o'clock mark. And because of how late I'm eating dinner, if I eat dinner, like I physically can't go to sleep earlier than after midnight.
that's crazy to me. But yeah, so I want to just get on a better schedule, whether that's just like meeting Sean at the gym right after work, or maybe we go in the morning one day a week or something, like just to get on a better schedule is one thing for me. But yes, starting my day off with water, going on nightly walks. Even if we go to the gym, it's been so nice to take Lola on a walk around the neighborhood. Cause one, I don't know how long it takes us, but it's like probably almost a mile around the neighborhood. It's that whole walk. We are not on our phones. We're talking, we're walking, which is great. We're out getting fresh air. Like I feel like a walk accomplishes so many things. And lately, because I haven't been feeling well, I haven't been doing it. And I feel like it makes me sad that I haven't been doing that. So that is another thing for sure. I have something I want to incorporate that I've been saying for literally 4 years that I'm going to, and I haven't, and that's stretching. I really
I've been
need
doing
to do
it after almost every workout.
I have not.
Nice.
I honestly, because most of the time when I'm in the sauna, there aren't people in there. I could probably stretch while I'm in the sauna, and that would be like a good way to cool down on my workout instead of just sitting there. So maybe I'll start doing that. But on my off days, I need to stretch. But yeah, that's something I feel like for sure. Do you have any other tips and tricks?
As much as I would love to say, like, I want to get into meditating or I do want to get into yoga, but I do think I'd like more of like we want to try out the Hot Works near us and do like a hot sauna yoga. Cause I just can't like one, if I go to the gym, I want to do like other things than stuff that I could be doing at home. And I don't love at home workouts. So like if I just put on yoga, I feel like I wouldn't get the most out of it. Where if I'm like in a sauna, I have nothing else to do but focus on yoga, I think I would like it. So we want to just expand our fitness palette. And Pilates is another one. I do want to try Pilates.
I was just looking up gyms near your house to see if there's any like chain yoga places that I recognize. I don't. So sorry, but
Yeah, I live in the middle of BFE with nothing
what are the
around.
chances I can get you to move a little bit farther north by June when I'm in Miami?
I mean, my lease is up in like August, September. So,
Sad.
I mean, if I find something sooner, I'll break it. But we haven't really fully started that yet. We need to get into house hunting again. But
Okay.
not looking forward to that.
Okay. So the next topic I want to get onto is kind of, I guess actually before we move on to that, this is kind of similar to what we were saying, another habit. The minute you get home, he was saying it shows his kids and his wife his priorities. So, he said he used to walk in the house, continuing doing work on his phone, just be like, giving me 30 more minutes, give me 5 more minutes, like, and then I'll be present. But, and it sounds stupid, but I've even noticed with Lola and Rita, when I come home, if I'm doing something else, it like, they get like even more hyper and like stressed out. Whereas if I walk in, I give them attention right away. Or for example, Sean, he came in and I was like, I really have to podcast. But I was like, you know what? Hello, nice to see you. Like he brought me flowers. It just like the little things where even if it's just like a quick hug or 5 minutes, whatever, just to like reset yourself. I'm the kind of person that's always go, go, go and like wanting to just start work right away. But I feel like it's really beneficial to give, whoever you're coming home to, or even if it's yourself, give yourself a good 30 minutes of like reset before you jump into the next task when you're coming home.
I like that. I think that one's going to be like a lot more. Well, one, it's different because we live together and we work together. So like we're not really apart to have like a, oh my God, how was your day moment? Because we do that so much throughout the day. But I think that's going to be big for me, like obviously in the future with kids and family and all of that. Another one that I wrote down today, actually, I was listening to a podcast that he had a guest on, but this was Ed saying this, is winning or succeeding in life is just as much environmental as it is mental. And I think, and he's like, and that's not to say that your environment is going to determine your future, because obviously, like, you could use him as a scenario. There's so many people that are so successful in life that have come from a like hard upbringing or an environment like that. But I almost think that is when you put yourself in a situation or an environment where you have no other choice but to figure it out and make it happen, I think that's when it happens. And I think that for me was getting myself out of my comfort zone of in my scenario where my parents were doing literally like everything for me. And I wouldn't, if I stayed living at home and didn't move away when I did, I feel like I would not have grown at all. But moving across country at 17 away from your family, you kind of have no other option but to make it happen. And I think that was the scenario where like, that literally was the one moment where my trajectory like changed so much in my life.
Mm-hmm. But then how would you, I guess, what advice would you give to someone to put themselves in that situation that isn't just moving across the country?
Even like moving out, like saving up enough money. I think moving out is the best thing you could do. Like I understand there are so many privileges to getting to live home and under the same roof as your parents, but, or even just like treating it as.
But say somebody's already moved out is what I mean. Well, like what can someone do to put themselves in that environment? Like, I guess I just don't understand what he is getting at.
Well, even just like environmental, as in like the people you surround yourself with, like,
Gotcha.
it's not necessarily having to put yourself in a scenario where you have to figure it out, but just your environment in general. Like if you're
do the
too
things
much in a
that
comfort zone that
do the things that you want to become. Is that like put yourself in an environment that girl or guy
and almost like you have no other option. Like
in.
the people that you are around are successful. They're kind of bringing you up with them instead of like you're around people that are constantly gossiping about other people and you just don't feel the most like fulfilled or positive around those people. And like the people you're with, the place you are, the things you're doing, like as much as winning is mental and like you have to change your mindset too, like you also kind of have to change your environment if you want things in your life to change.
Mm-hmm. I know for me, my environment affects me a lot. If the house is messy or if there's clutter, I feel like I cannot be successful. So
That's a big one. Yeah.
I definitely, I agree with that. So I have 2 more points to make. One is I feel like I get a lot of like video ideas or podcast things, like what to do when you're in a rut, whether that's creatively, whether that's just you feel like your life is in a rut, whatever. And Ed made a really good point when he said, what are 3 or 4 things you're great at but not using? If you're struggling to come up with it, ask loved ones, ask people around you, like, hey, what are some things I'm good at? And realize what of those things are you not capitalizing on? Like for me, as much as I would love to be an aesthetic queen on the internet, I still wear the same clothes that I wore in middle school. It's just not aesthetic. Okay. However, I feel like I'm really good at making people laugh. I feel like I'm good at showing the realness, being just like honest and like blunt and just like who I am. So you know what? Why am I not putting that across on all social media platforms? Or even, I feel like I do it more in real life, but like, I don't know. I just feel like why try to be somebody you're not? So think of the couple things. Doesn't have to be a list of 30 billion things, like literally 3 things right now off the top of your head. Like, what are you good at? And focus on how can I capitalize on that in my life and use that to propel me forward. Like that's what makes you, you. So instead of trying to just like, I feel like this is a really good way to break out of a rut because you can look at, okay, kind of do like some damage control. What am I doing? What am I not? What do I need to work on? Things like that.
Very good. Okay, what was your last one?
How to deal with haters. And he says, a powerful emotion that haters hate is sympathy and empathy for them. That's the last thing they want. Anger comes from fear. And if you acknowledge them and you see that and almost take it as like, I'm really sorry you feel that way. Like, I understand you must be going through something. I'm really sorry you feel that way. Like, imagine you're feeling hateful and someone says that to you. You're like, what do you say back to that? You're not going to continue to be mean. You're just gonna be like, like what? So instead of like rising to their level or trying to get a rise out of them or, you know, fighting fire with fire or even trying to kill them with kindness, I feel like a lot of times even that doesn't really work. Just be like, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. And that can be internet haters. That can be people in your real life. That can be like toxic coworkers, whatever it is. If you angle it from empathy, sympathy, and just like kind of understanding that something must be really going on if they are acting like this and acting out, I feel like, I mean, in every situation I can think of, I literally can't imagine what that person would have said back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was really powerful. And I feel like fear drives a lot of emotions. It obviously drives things like anxiety, worry, self-doubt, all of that. But I do think it's behind a lot of anger. It's behind a lot of irritability. It's a lot of like deep down, like, what are you afraid is going to happen? And that's what's causing the negative emotions that you're feeling. So that goes for the haters as well.
Haters are my motivators, baby.
Sure. But yeah, I think I'm just going to end it by saying crush your goals. What?
You are one moment away from changing your life.
Yes.
So
And
don't
it's
ever
not,
feel like it is a million steps away.
It is not the goal that you're looking for. It's how you're going to feel when you reach that goal is what you want to accomplish. So use that, use the emotions you want to feel, take inventory of how you want to feel in that moment. This is what a lot of people say with manifestation is like, how do you want to feel when you accomplish that goal? Because I got some news for you. You're going to get to that goal and you're going to be like, I thought this would feel different.
Right.
Well, what's next? So focus more on how you want to feel and become that
Biatch.
BITCH.
All right. I have to leave for the gym literally in 30 seconds. So I did not realize the time. Just time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to this part 2. I feel like it flew by once again. But as always, follow us over on our Instagram at Outgoing Podcast. I'm going to be doing more like handwritten photos coming up with like actual inspo, things like that. Some things I'm working on. Follow our personal pages if you really want to. And go crush your week. It is Monday when you're listening to this. Go crush it. And we'll see you next week
there with you
on Outgoing.
without going out.
Bye.